Princess Line Perfections. You know that design line has been with us throughout the decades. Hi everyone, I'm Glenda with SureFit Designs, whimsically known as Glenda the Good Stitch. Did you know about princess lines and how far back they date in time? They actually go back to 1870. And a designer who was born in Great Britain but living in Paris and designing there, Charles Worth, designed long vertical lines and conformed those lines to the female torso. And he named them after the very elegant Princess Alexandra. And those design lines have been so popular, they literally have stayed with us throughout the decades. And why? It's because princess lines look so flattering on so many different body shapes. Whether you're large or small busted or tall or short, the princess line that goes into the shoulder line is truly one of the most popular ones. We see princess lines in dresses, in blouses like I'm wearing. Here's a jacket with a princess line going up into the shoulder, and here is a vest with a princess line, again going up into the shoulder. In this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to design a princess line and get it to fit you perfectly, because we are going to have your bust dart built into the pattern where you need it to be, and then we're going to use that bust dart to shape the princess line. So let's go ahead and get started. For those of you who are new to SureFit Designs offers a pattern fitting and designing system where you can literally blueprint your body shape and size, and it doesn't matter what your measurements are. We're going to use a master pattern that has a variety of measurements on it, from 28 inches or 71 centimeters to 62 inches or 157.5 centimeters. And all you do once you've measured yourself is mark in your measurement dots and connect them together, and you end up with what I call your body blueprint. And we're going to do this, of course, on a piece of tracing vellum, our pattern paper, so that we're not marking on the master pattern. And the other thing I should mention is that I am demonstrating this on a wall. At home, of course, you'd be working on a vertical surface. Excuse me, you'd be working on the horizontal surface. I'm the one that's working on the vertical surface. It's just a lot easier. And so let me just pin this vellum up in place, and we're going to assume, whoops, I missed the vellum there. We're going to assume that I've already drawn off your specific body measurements. So again, your measurements are marked in place, and you connect all of your measurement dots together with the essential tool by SureFit Designs called the Designing Stylus. So there are straight lines, here's your neckline curve, here's your armhole curve. But there's other videos to help you draw off a SureFit Designs pattern. Okay, so now we're going to assume that you have your body blueprint completed. And something that's very important when you're drawing your body blueprint is that you give yourself the correct bra cup size. And we can do that with SureFit Designs and the Adjust-A-Bust template. And that template, actually, I again have other videos showing you how to use the Adjust-A-Bust template. Now you're going to see that I've drawn here two darts. The red dart is the actual dart that you sew out. So that's called the dressmaker's dart. I've also drawn in here long green lines starting at the beginning of the dart on the side of the pattern going to your apex. Those long green lines are called the designer's dart, and they're called that because you are going to design with it. We're actually going to close it up and move it up into the shoulder line, and that's the starting point to begin your princess line into the shoulder line. But there is a few other lines that we need to draw, and one of them is an extra grain line. It needs to be drawn on the side front panel because these pieces are going to be cut apart and separated, and we need that grain line to help us get it laid out properly on the fabric. So to do that, enter in our newest essential tool called the SureFit Designs Line Drafter. What you're going to absolutely love about this tool is the permanently attached handle. So whether you are working on a vertical or a horizontal surface for doing any pattern drawing work or using this for the edge for cutting like in quilting, you're going to love it because this handle allows you to grip and really hold it onto either the paper or onto your fabric. And of course, it's all designated with inches and then quarter, half inch, 3/4 inches. And what I'm going to do is take one of those dominant inch lines and I'm going to line it up with the existing grain line, and then holding it in place, and I'm just going to draw, I'm getting just a touch of slippage there, I'll get a better grip on it. I'm going to draw a new grain line on that side panel, and I'll just put the arrows indicating the grain line. All right, another couple of lines that we need to draw in order to establish the princess line is the line coming into the shoulder. I'm going to take this into the center of the shoulder, but it could be moved on either side of center as well. Then I am going to continue drawing down through the center of that waist fitting dart. Now, depending on how tight you want your princess line to fit on your torso, you are going to either want to draw down through the center, or, excuse me, I should just say, as I did on this vest right here, this vest is a looser fitting vest at the waistline. But if you want your princess line to snug into your body, then you draw on either side of the side legs of the dart. So it could be either direction and in either position. And we'll just continue this down like that, and from the tip of that dart up to the apex. So the next thing that we need to do before we cut apart on the princess line is we need to add matching notches. You'll do one 3 or 4 inches down from your shoulder line, another matching notch about 2 inches up from your apex marking, and another matching notch about 2 inches below your apex marking. And then on the side legs of the dart, we will do another matching notch. Okay, now I think I'm ready to start cutting all of this apart. Before I do any cutting, I'm going to stabilize the apex like that, so that when I start cutting it out, I'm going to have a little bit of stability right there. And in order to make this just a little bit clearer view for you, I'm going to move it away from the master pattern so that we have good clarity on the white background. And because I'm right-handed, I'm going to switch sides here, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to start cutting this designer's dart out. So what I'm doing is cutting on the green line, the designer's dart, and I'm cutting up to the apex like this. Okay, and it was falling out, and that's what I wanted it to do, is I'm just going to get rid of it. Then, let me put another little pin right there to hold it in place. Then what I'm going to do is show you the very, very easy process of moving the dart into the shoulder line. And I'm cutting up to the apex. I don't want to cut all the way through that. And if you did, don't worry about it. You can just retape it and put a little piece of tape over top again. But what you want to do is use that apex as a pivot point, then release the upper shoulder and simply pivot that side bust fitting dart closed. So it will look like that. And we have done a very simple process of moving the bust fitting dart from the side seam up into the shoulder line. And the beauty of this is that if you had an A cup dart here, you'd get an A opening here. If you had a double D dart, you'd get a double D opening. And so you're always maintaining that perfect fit for your body, no matter where or what your dart shape is when you take it into the shoulder line. Now, to continue drawing the princess line, what we need to do is cut down through either the center of the dart or the side legs of the dart. And in this example, I've drawn it for the side legs of the dart so you can see how it nips in. But because I am working on a vertical surface, I'm going to show it to you with what the finished pieces would look like. It's kind of like they do in the cooking demonstrations where they've already baked the cake and then show you the finished product. So here we have what the center front panel would look like. All right, I'm just going to line that right up so it looks right on top of the red line. And you can see that here it is. Just pretend I've got the scissors in my hand. I'm cutting down. I'll move that away. Cutting down, cutting on. Oops, sorry, my arm's in the way. Cutting down on that side leg of the dart. So this one is going to be right here. And then on the side panel, again, you're cutting down on the other side leg of the dart, and this panel would sit right in here. Now, I do know I've got a lot of lines happening here and can become visually confusing. So what I'm going to do very quickly is I'm going to remove the initial pattern from underneath, and then we'll have a nice clear vision of the finished pieces for the princess line. Okay, let me move this back in place, and it will look like this. I think that looks pretty straight on the board. Now, here's the side front panel like this. So this is where I cut down through the sides of the dart, the waist-fitting dart. Now, before I pin this down, let me show you as if you were sewing this together. This is a stitching line and this is a stitching line. They're going to match up one to the other, and that's why you've got those matching notches there. And then at your apex, as you're stitching, you're going to be pulling the two panels together, and they will look like that. So that's how this long vertical panel then ends up fitting over your apex and fits you properly because it was your bust dart, the proper shape for your bust dart that was incorporated. So I'm just going to move this away so we've got clarity of both of them. And you'll also notice that on these finished pieces, I have already added on the seam allowances. So initially, in that first pattern, I was drawing without seam allowances. It's called a strip down pattern. And any designing that you want to do, you will do it without seam allowances because it's a lot clearer visually and not having the visual confusion of a seam allowance in place. But you must add a seam allowance afterward. And you can do that very easily with the SureFit Designing Stylus. And I'll just put this up here. These slots that are on the stylus represent your 5/8" seam allowance. It's the edge of the slot that is nearest the outside edge, and that space in there is exactly 5/8 of an inch. So once you have got your two separate panels drawn, then you will take your designing stylus, lay it back in place, and use your pencil. Of course, I've used heavy markers so that you can see exactly what I'm doing in this demonstration, but at home, use your pencil and you will draw with your pencil lead against the edge of the slot nearest the outside edge, and that's going to add on your 5/8" seam allowances. And then, of course, the marks that I made for the matching notches get extended out and drawn into your matching notches. And that completes drawing a princess line going into the shoulder line. And you can see how easy that was to do. You're going to find full directions for how to move the dart around and how to make a princess line in this SureFit Designs instruction book that accompanies the SureFit Designs dress kit. So you can see how easy it is to design the princess line going into the shoulder line. If you've enjoyed this video, and I certainly hope that you have, I invite you to join our worldwide community of like-minded seamstresses who are using SureFit Designs and absolutely loving it. You can do that in 3 easy techniques, or steps, I should say. Number 1 is make sure to join our YouTube channel, and you can do that with the like and subscribe button underneath this video. And also join the SureFit Designs newsletter. Just go to my website, surefitdesigns.com, to the bottom of the page, and you're going to see a form to sign up for the newsletter, and there are 4 free gifts to get you started. And lastly, but certainly not least, join our unbelievably great Facebook group. Just go to facebook.com/groups/SureFitDesigns and request to join. It is a closed group, and you're going to become part and parcel of a group from like-minded seamstresses all over the world who post their garments sewn with SureFit designs, ask questions, and interact with one another. I know you're going to love participating in that group.